Alright, last week I started to put this together and then ran out of time, and then we were out of town for a few days. So I'm back at it. I think the only thing that changed is I had to put some vice grips on up here because this steering column kept slipping down on me. Of course, I already had this clamp on here now, so that I don't have to worry about the steering column tube from slipping down on me. And I think now I'm ready to take another shot at putting this thing together. Alright, this is the best camera angle I can really get. And I'm probably going to be in the way when I get in there, but I'll just edit it out if you can't see anything. But I just kind of wanted to give you an idea what I was up against trying to get this in. I think my leg is in. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing here, but my problem is getting this all together. So I finally was able to get this behind here now, and I've got this kind of in position. So I think now I can actually maybe mount this darn thing. But the trick is I've got to get that steering column reattached. So the first time I put it in, there's this nut right here that tightens on that piece. First time I put it in, I forgot to put the nut on, and there's no room clearance to get the nut in. So now I took it out, put the nut on it, and got it back in there by some miracle. Now what I need to do is I need to get that steering column to lower down onto this spline shaft and then tighten this nut up, and then theoretically then I can lower this tube back down over the whole assembly. But it's going to be tricky. So start by taking these vice grips off at the top that I have holding this on. Okay, so as soon as I take the vice grips off, of course the shaft slides down. It wouldn't be bad if it would slide down onto this, but it doesn't. Does it? Oh, maybe it did just there. Leave a little tap. Well, it might be onto something. Huh. Okay, so I think I've got this shaft in the right position. Now I've got that nut just started. Now, if I can get that shaft to move down any further. If not, what I might have to do is bring this valve up and bolt it into position. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, that's a little too far up. I actually can't even see the nut now to tighten it. There we go. Now I've got the shaft. Clearly I can see the shaft is now on. Now I'm going to take the nut that holds the steering wheel off. That'll allow me to get the shaft to even go down further. I think what I'll do is I'll back it off several threads. It would help if I remembered how far down this is supposed to go on this shaft, but unfortunately I don't. I think it is supposed to go down further than that though. You know what I could use? Hammer. Dead blow mallet to be specific. Alright, so I was going to use the dead blow hammer, and then it occurred to me, why not just use a punch and the ball peen in that countersunk hole in the center of the shaft that I was using the puller in for the steering wheel pull, to pull the steering wheel out. That way I can drive this down and not worry at all about damaging the threads that I was concerned about. So right there might be as far as it goes. I could definitely lift the steering valve up higher now. Alright. Now let's see if... Where's this in here? Oops. It's this screwdriver under here, so that doesn't want to move. Try to bang on that again. I can still see the edge of the spline shaft, and I can't remember whether or not... I think that might have been exposed, but I'm not sure. Alright, either the valve just slid or it went down further. The valve just slid. Alright, I think that's it. I think there was some splines, just the edge of the splines exposed when I cleaned this up. I think that's what clued me into the fact the way that this was put together in the first place. So, that being said, I'm tightening up this nut in preparation for calling this "you're done." Oops. Alright, I need to hold the shaft from turning in order to tighten that nut all the way up. The trick here is potato vision and gauge. Yes, unfortunately I didn't charge the battery before or put the battery on the charger for the other camera before I left town, and so it just dropped it. So we have to switch to the Sony DSC-H3 in movie mode, which my understanding is not coming out too well. But anyways, hopefully you can live with that. I moved the camera tripod over to this side. The hydraulic reservoir is not in the way from this side, so I think I've got a pretty decent angle, although I got a feeling my leg's going to be right here. I'll see what I can do to try and keep the camera feeling wrong. Of course, as I walk away from the camera, you probably didn't hear what I said, but I was saying I'll try and do my best to keep the camera angle in mind when I'm putting my big clod hoppers down here. Yeah. Alright, so I went and got some wrenches. I think I used this big crescent wrench on this nut. No, maybe not. That's not so great either. Son of a gun. Alright, this is getting me a little bit flummoxed here. If this won't work. I mean, an inch and 5/16 wrench, maybe. But I don't have one of those. I don't think. So that's not what I used. Why was this wrench working before? Now it's not. That dirty pool. Oh yeah, that'll work, except for the fact that it's just going to keep turning the shaft. Alright, what if I pull this all the way down as far as I can? My problem is that if I put this wrench on here, then it's kind of in the way of getting the other wrench on the nut. Sure is. This wrench is too thick to be used there. And for some reason this wrench doesn't fit at all. It fit until the nut came up close to this. This diameter is too large. So if I had a thin wrench that size, that would work. Oh, you know what I can do? I can grab another pair of channel locks. This width, and just use another pair of channel locks to try and hold that shaft while I turn this. It's not the greatest solution, but it is what it is. Alright, let's see. See if we can't get her done this way. Come on. First, I'll take a look and see if these giant channel locks will give me enough clearance. Oh, maybe. Maybe. They'll give me more leverage there anyways. I got them on the wrong side. Gotta have them here. Yeah. I'll grab these. That's as tight as I'm going to get those with channel locks anyways. The splines actually are what keep that column locked into the shaft on this thing. All that this locking nut really does is ensure that the damn shaft doesn't just pull out on you when if you're holding onto the steering wheel and put any upward force on it. So theoretically, I don't think it's going to be an issue. What the hell do I know? Alright, now which of these bolts? Two pairs of bolts here that match. Two are fine thread, two are coarse thread. Which ones are the ones that hold this together? All right, two of them are for my filter mount for the transmission. So, oh no, those are tiny. Oh wait a minute, is there a bracket I'm missing here? Duh. Come on. Well, I guess I could just do this. Hold this damn thing up. See which one of these bolts threads in. Oh, I can see that's gonna be coarse thread ones. No, fine thread. I meant to say. What did I just say? Alright, I need a wrench that fits that. It's hard to climb in and out of this thing, so I'm not going to climb all the way out just to get the ratchet. Just deal with this closed edge wrench and be done with it. It's only two bolts anyways. Urgh! Which one of these valves, which one of these hoses goes where? Alright, that hose will not go down there, so this one must be the one that goes down below. This must be the upper one. Right? Well, that's a problem. This hose can't go there if that hose is in there. So maybe this hose does go on the bottom. Doesn't seem to fit though. How about this? Maybe this hose goes in the bottom in front of this hose. In other words, this one goes here. Nope, that ain't happening. You gotta love it. I think I'm gonna have to go in the house just to look at which hose went where. Like I said, if I put this hose in here, let's get that one started. Put that hose in there, then I can't get this hose in there.
Yeah, that didn't happen.